Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right in your calorie deficit, but it's just not working? When this happens, it's usually because of one simple mistake that almost everyone makes and they don't even realize it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is that keeps your weight stuck no matter how low you drop your calories, and the weird trick that fixes it instantly. I'm going to show you how I've used this strategy to get to 15% body fat and below, and with people like Alan, who lost 50 pounds in 6 months this year, or Jen, who's down 35 pounds. And at the end, I'm going to show you how to take what you've learned and apply it to your own calorie goals too. So let's start with the big problem that you have to solve to get this strategy to work for you. A few years ago, when Jay and I had a big chunk of debt, we would always feel stressed about money. We'd plan to go on vacation, but when the summer rolled around, we never had the money to get away. One year, the stress was so bad that I literally threw up in the park near our house while I was walking to the gym. Around that time, we found a book called Money for Couples by Ramit Sethi, another YouTuber guy who talks about finance. And we realized that we were doing everything backwards. This year, we took an anniversary trip to go wine tasting completely stress-free because there was already money in our vacation account. You might be thinking, okay, Mateo, how is this gonna help me lose body fat? But this is exactly what most people are messing up with their calorie deficit. You're tracking your calories backwards. You try to log your food at the end of the day. But it's so easy to forget those little things throughout the day, like cream in your coffee or a handful of trail mix, and suddenly your 1,800 calories is actually 2,500 calories, and you have no idea why you're not losing weight. I call this the 50-to-1 principle, where 50% of your results come from just 1% of the things you do. I cover this more in detail in my free 21-day fat loss plan, linked in the description box. But just like budgeting, fat loss becomes 10 times easier when you stop looking back and start planning ahead. Instead of tracking what you did eat, track what you plan to eat. This is the pre-tracking method. You log your day of eating the night before or the morning of, and then you map out your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and any snacks you plan to have ahead of time. That way your entire day of eating is already accounted for before you take your first bite. And mentally, I find it a lot easier to stick to also because you're not trying to stay under your calories and avoid it. You're just following the plan, showing up and eating what you had already planned to eat. And it gets even easier when you start repeating meals day to day because you can just copy paste foods in your calorie tracker to save time. And if you read my newsletter, you probably use my Mara meal strategy. You know what this is all about. I put together a list of high protein meals that take longer to eat than they actually take to prepare. So you can just make all your meals for weight loss in basically 10 minutes per day. If you want it, again, linked in the free fat loss program in the description box. But if this whole pre-tracking thing sounds a little bit too strict or robotic for you, here are two more flexible variations. Option one is just pre-tracking your breakfast and your lunch. And that way you can keep dinner open as a bit more of a wild card if you're like some folks we work with who eat with their family and they're not really sure always what's going to be for dinner. Option two is to pre-track everything, but still keep 200 or 300 calories of extra buffer zone. That way you can have some ice cream or a little extra snack or whatever you want at the end of the day. Both of those are still way more predictable than flying by the seat of your pants every day. When you pre-track your meals, there's no more macro Tetris at 9:30 at night. No more forgotten snacks, no more, I swear I'm eating 1,800 calories, but I'm not losing weight. It's just consistent and predictable fat loss. So if you want to take your calorie tracking by the balls or the ovaries, and you want to get serious about losing body fat, just take your calorie goal and then split it up into 3. So if your calorie goal is 1,800, that gives you 3 600 calorie meals throughout the day. Now you can use a tool like ChatGPT or eatthismuch.com and tell it how many calories you have as a budget for the day, and it'll spit out some sample meal ideas for you. Or you could just use my Mara meal strategy. Those are all about 500 calories each with 50 grams of protein. So if you do 3 of those, you'll still have about 300 calories available for snacks at the end of the day. Huge disclaimer here is that you actually have to try this in order for it to work. You can't just watch this video on the John while you're getting paid to take a dump at work and then not do anything about it and wonder why you're not losing weight. So try this out, subscribe to my channel for more good stuff like this. And if you're losing weight, but you're not sure whether it's the right kind of weight, go watch this video next where I show you 7 kind of sneaky signs that you are in fact losing body fat and not muscle.